Alright, people, welcome to Talking Games. Splash over here with Bobo and let me hear you, Russell.
Yeah, it's me, Mr. Russ. Here to share some opinions.
ROUTC22.
Yeah,
We
that's right,
finally
absolutely.
got Queen Elizabeth to join us today.
Representing the
Russell, man.
Cockney bastards, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Oi, governor. yeah, that's it from London. So yeah.
Yeah,
Very special guest. Very special guest. We
Yeah.
love you, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
you're so welcome to Talking Games. Like we said, we've been wanting you on this for, maybe half a year now, I think it is.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, mate, I'm very exclusive. It's very difficult. I have to check the timetables, check the diary, pencil you guys in. I'm very, very busy, as you no doubt know. So, yeah, I've made the time today, and here we are. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Dude,
fully
it's
booked,
a funny
scheduled.
story, man. It's a funny story, dude. Because I was texting Kanye. I was like, bro, what's up, man? He was like, yeah, what's up, bro? I was like, dude, my podcast and all that shit. Me and Rex are kind of going at a thing and stuff. He was like, yeah, dude, I fucking love that shit, dude. I was like, how would you want to be in a podcast? He was like, dude, I'll do it right now if you want.
Yeah.
And then I said, but dude, there's a specific guest I want in our podcast, and it's Russ. Now, I don't know. He's obviously dating Queen Elizabeth, so like she's holding him on a short leash. Like dude, Russ wants to go out and jog. She'd be out there with a fucking what do you call it? You know what I mean? Like a wheelchair, just following him. Like,
Yeah.
40 miles an hour. Like, dude, she a feisty bitch though. How do you feel about that, Russ? I mean, like she a strong woman though.
Queen Elizabeth, very, very strong, has a definite masculine aspect to her personality that is somewhat counterintuitive to making a podcast, I must admit. So I do apologise for the delay on that front. But you overcome these sort of things and you just get stuck in. So yeah, I'm ready for action, mate. Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
All right.
But we're not going to talk about Queen Elizabeth and Russ today, right? What are we going to talk
leave
about?
that. I mean, if we were going to talk about that, we'd be talking about Boris and his previous evening's experiences. But we're going to leave that. We're going to draw. Yeah, we're going to draw a veil over that and leave that. Otherwise, we'd have a very, very different podcast on our hands. I think probably a lot more viewers.
Maybe one day we'll have a special podcast sending some private issue, like a private issue or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
For now, let's just keep it at a game we wanted to talk about for so long. It's The Witcher. The Witcher.
The Witcher 3, yes. Wild
Hunt, baby.
Yeah. And first of all, I haven't played the game, Splish Splash. Haven't tried it yet, so I just want to know anything about the game. Both Russell and Boris have tried it and mastered it, right? I hope.
To some degree.
To some degree,
It's one of those games where you're talking serious man hours. The game is so extensive. You could really lose your life into this kind of game. As everyone talks about the map aspect itself.
Yeah.
It's just the sheer size of the game.
It's huge, right?
It is absolutely spectacular. It's a pretty big game. I mean, it easily rivals Skyrim or the Fallout sandbox games without doubt. Many will say that it surpasses it in its sheer size. I mean, you've got the different continents or cities, as you want to put it, that you can move to and from. Which I think is a good touch, how it will kind of isolate them, so you can go into one area at a time. And then at a point, if the storyline drives you to do so, or if you want to at free will, you can move on to the next.
Yeah.
So it's a big game, man. A lot of hours. You're going to be missing a lot of time with a girlfriend, a lot of time with a missus. You're going to be skipping munch. You're not going to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're going to be spending too many hours of your life playing this game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
So give me some of your first impressions, both of you. Did Did you? What's the first thought coming to mind when you played it? When you opened up the game and started?
Well, I think the main thing is that obviously it's part of the series. You know, obviously
Yeah.
by the title alone suggests it's the third installment. I mean, I have to admit, I'm ignorant on that front that this is my first introduction to the Witcher series.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I hadn't played the other titles. One of the brilliant things, and I mean, anyone would tell you this if you've played it, is the actual writing that's gone into the game. You are drawn into the storyline straight away. You don't need to have played the other titles to understand what's going on.
It's like a,
you know,
a standalone story, or
Yeah. I mean, it will link in with the other titles. It does link in with some of the other stuff, but it's just the accessibility. It really makes it all. It lays it out to you. I mean, to give you a brief sort of overview of the storyline, it shows you how the main character Geralt is, you know, training his ward, as it were, Ciri. And yeah, you know, the main part of the story is he's reunited with his, I don't know, romantic interest, should we say, the sorceress Yennefer. The main quest takes place where his ward Ciri has gone missing. He is then drafted in, as it were, by the Emperor of a land fraught with civil war to find said ward, find Ciri, and find out what's going on. And then as the storyline progresses, you find that the Wild Hunt, guys that I guess are very similar to some of the bad guys in like the Lord of the Rings titles and things like that. So they're after her for mysterious reasons, and off you go, mate. That's really where you start. You it's a lot of kind of detective work, as it were. You've got your primary missions, you've got your side quests. You've got your Witcher contracts to get on with. There's so many things that you can just get involved in straight away off the offset. As soon as you start a game, off you go. You can just start getting involved. It's really good on that front.
Yeah.
And Boris, did you have any first impressions with the game you want to share? Like,
Dude, I would. You know what? I'm pretty synchronized with Russ on that aspect. I was thinking about saying the same thing actually. It's like how the story. It's like he said. I'm new to Witcher as well. This is the first Witcher I've played. The other Witchers I've only like watched. I haven't played them. You know, so it's completely different. Like actually playing it physically and watching it. But it's like Russ said, dude. I don't know. It's the story just like draws you in, and even though you haven't played the other Witchers before that, and you maybe don't know the story as good, it kind of, I don't know, the storyline in Witcher 3, it kind of like sucks you into it so good that you actually kind of know what happened in the other ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the layout,
you get
the
a
layout
hint
is
or a
so,
feeling like.
Exactly. Like say it's, I don't know, it's so friendly and inviting. It's like, I don't know, it just captures you. The story is continuous. And I don't know, it reminded me of so many things. Like the Wild Hunt reminded me definitely, like Russ said, Lord of the Rings. And then those moments where when you have options, when you're talking to somebody and you can actually choose what to say. And depending on what you say is kind of a game changer. You know, you gotta, it's like a moral game. Like nothing in the game, nothing in the game is like black and white. I feel like the game is in a massive gray scale. So whatever you do, like there was this one specific, there was this specific mission, Russ, you probably remember it. You know, with the 3 witches? And
that's right, yep.
Brookback Bog, yeah. It's like there's a thing you gotta do. Either you save the tree and the kids, or you kill the tree. So you got those 2 options. Now you don't know what's gonna happen if you kill the tree or you save the tree. There's like a specific tree those 3 witches have like cast a spell on, and they
that's right,
captured him. So me personally, I chose to save the tree because I don't want kids to die. That's just my moral. That's my morality. You know, that's what I would do. And
that's right.
The game kind of keeps you in that moment, like at all times. It just you're constantly thinking. You're actually questioning your morale constantly while you're playing The Witcher, and I fucking love that about the game. It just keeps you involved all the time.
That's right.
And I don't know, I got melted, dude. I don't know. I
Yeah,
love the game.
sounds really.
Period.
Yeah.
Simple.
But it has
There's
like
that one.
many
Absolutely.
multiple endings, right? The story and.
Well, yeah, I
you know
mean,
what?
reflecting on what Boris was saying about the way that you make choices in a game. I mean, it's not the first title to do that. I mean, we saw that in like the Mass Effect series, where
Yeah.
you had the ability to sort of do the renegade options and things like that, and react negatively to things or positively, or things like that. This game is very, very subtle.
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
you'll realize that the most basic little things, where you'll have, say, an interaction in a certain location with a group of really, really minor characters. There'll be a bunch of foot soldiers or something, and you're at an inn or an innkeep or something like that,
Yeah.
and you can it looks like you're going to get into a fight with them, and you can do something simple like bribe them and give them some money or buy them a round of drinks, or you can, as Boris says, parental advisory, you can tell them to go fuck themselves, you know what I mean, and absolutely take it to them.
Exactly.
And you think, yeah, I'm a witcher, I can cast magic. I've got a silver sword, I've got a steel sword, I'm built like a brick house, I'm hardcore, I'm a kung fu legend, I ain't buying you guys around drinks. And you can take it to them, and then you'll realize such a simple interaction where you think perhaps the game is going to introduce you in a way to the combat section. You realize that just that interaction will have so many knock-on effects,
Yeah.
both minor and major, throughout the storyline. Sometimes you'll do something and it won't prove to be a reaction until several segments to the storyline later on. And then you realize, damn, I wish I hadn't have done that, or I should have done this, or maybe I should have reacted differently. And it's
Yeah.
exactly like Boris said, your moral compass really plays a massive part in how you react in this game and how you interact with things.
All right, so that was a bit about the story and also the morals that you can choose from.
Yeah.
Different, yeah. But I want to know a bit more about the gameplay also, because it's a third-person game, right? And how does it feel to play it? Is it the controllers and yeah, gameplay, all in all?
Russ, you want to feed off the question first?
Oh, right, okay, yeah, the actual gameplay, I mean, this is where I think some of the negatives about The Witcher can come out, as it were. I mean, as you mentioned, it's third person, it's obviously hand-to-hand combat, as it were. Oh, Geralt's armed with his silver sword for the monsters, and his steel sword for humans and beasties and things like that, which is all well and good. The combat's is pretty good. You've got your hacking and slashing kind of thing. You've got your dodges and your rolls, and you can parry and block and all that kind of thing. And it's really fun to start getting involved with the combat. You've also got your magical signs, which I think Boris seems to know a lot more about than I do. I tend to just run around setting people on fire. Boris seems to, he's very much more the Harry Potter of the gang. He knows how to how certain situations will require a certain sign or a certain kind of bit of magic. And as we know, Boris is very magic, as we talked about a while ago. But yeah, I mean, it's really good. The combat's really good. The only one of my issues, and I think a lot of other people have experienced it, is perhaps the actual just the movement of the main character of Geralt is it's a bit clumsy. You can get stuck on things. Climbing up things can be really difficult. The fall distance is ridiculously small. The guy could trip over it and kill him outright. He can fight a dragon, but if he falls down a flight of stairs, my man's dead meat. That's a little bit. I find that a bit niggly. It's a bit of a pain. I don't know if it's maybe something they could, I don't know, maybe patch later on or something. But yeah, it's a little bit of a pain. Just the movement and oh my God, Boris would. I'm sure Boris is going to be with me on this one. All I'm going to say to Boris, I want to see his reaction. Boris, fucking candles.
Yeah.
Candles.
Oh my.
I don't know. I don't get it, but yeah, you two seem to.
Yeah, it's in your environment you can interact with pretty much anything. You can there's loads of loot things you can take, and pretty
Yeah.
much any room. For some reason, people don't really care. You can walk into any room anywhere and just steal everything.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Geralt's got this wonderful ability where he feels the need to wander around and show off in front of people. And if there's a candle in a room, he'll sort of click his fingers and ignite it
Yeah.
or extinguish it. And the only problem is you'll go into a room and you'll need to pick something up off the desk, and they've strategically placed a fucking candle right next to it.
Right
And
next to it, yeah.
all he does is just light the candle, put it out, light the candle, put it out. And you're like, pick the book up, pick the book up. Light the candle, put it out, light the candle, put it out. It's there. And
dude.
everywhere
Exactly.
you go is littered with candles everywhere. It's just, and in some places you go into a dungeon or something, or a cave, and there'll be candles, and you'll try and light them, and mate, he's all of a sudden forgot his trick of kicking his thumb and lighting things, and you're like, just light the candle, dude. No, he doesn't have it, so that could be a little bit frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
I've
can
been there.
totally understand that. Like,
I was going into this innkeep in Novigrad, and you know he had these like bags, you know, like fucking whatever, these boxes and shit everywhere, and you know when you gotta like, it's not only up to you gotta face the specific item, but then you gotta also like move your camera a little bit, so like it's like your character has like a field of view. Now depending on what you look at, those buttons are gonna pop up. Now it says like press X to pick up the loot, or press X to ignite the candle, or press X to extinguish it. Now is exactly like Russ said, dude. I was at this innkeep and I used my my Witcher senses. You press L2 and hold down, and when you do that, you can like see shit more clearly, and you know some things will kind of mark out, and you can like pick it up and see what's important and what's not. So I did that shit, not knowing I didn't see the fucking candle. Man, I did not see that motherfucking candle, dude. But I did see.
Yep.
Dude, yeah, I did see a loot box. Now I was like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna take your loot box. Like, I'm gonna steal your shit right in front of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, that motherfucking innkeep, man, trolled the living shit out of me to the point where I almost flipped the fuck out and threw my PS4 in the fucking wall, dude. I was like, pick the loot up, all right? I aimed my fucking guy at the loot. Now, the problem is I was standing too close to the loot, so the point of view is gone.
yeah.
Now, I gotta back up. So I back up, I turn him around again, I face the loot. Now, I wanna press loot, when I press X, I ignite the fucking candle. I was like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? So I take my camera view and I face it down towards my dick. Like, really down towards the floor.
Yeah.
And then it says, pick up the loot. I was like, oh yeah, now let's go. I press X, I fucking extinguish the fucking candle. Dude, I was like, motherfucker. I was talking to myself as well. I'm talking to myself constantly when I'm playing The Witcher. I was like, motherfucker, if you ignite that motherfucking candle one more time, I'm gonna break your fucking legs. And boom, pick up the loot, I ignite the fucking candle. I was like, you know what? Fuck your loot. Fuck that chest. I don't give a fuck if it's a fucking Ursine sword in there that I will get for free. Fuck you and your sword and your loot, and fuck your fucking candle. And I went out to Innkeep. I just went out and I was like, I gotta go play some Gwent or something. Like it's a card game. You play Gwent in the game.
All right.
Dude,
Well,
I know that sequence right there, dude, just pissed me the fuck off, dude. It was incredible. It was just incredible. And then this thing that Russ said, you can fight like dragons and stuff. And then I was climbing up this tiny fucking dwarf ladder, dude. It was it's not even half a foot fucking long, but you gotta climb up it. And I kind of climbed up, and I accidentally fell down. Dude, it's like a fucking, it's a half a foot, dude. I fell down, and it feels like, dude, I lost half of my health.
Yeah.
Go figure. Now, I was thinking
Yeah.
when that happened, I was like, dude, I know you got 2 fucking massive swords on your back, but it's not like you're carrying a fucking tank, a MBT from Battlefield on your back and jumping down a fucking hill. You know, it's like, so sometimes the physics are kind of like, you know, like you're like, what the fuck is wrong? You know?
It's illogical,
So,
maybe, that he could like half die from that drop or
yeah, I don't know.
jump.
It feels like
That's right.
almost like he kind of goes into a, what do you call it? It's like he goes into a motion like he's actually falling down from a fucking mountain, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
it's like it feels sometimes like the game is confused, whether he's falling or he just tripped over a fucking marble. But
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the negative.
But
That's
that feels
a little bit of the negative.
that feels pretty typical, you know, open world sandbox games, that they have these kind of events that occurs that doesn't seem like, is this supposed to happen at this point, at this place? So I don't know.
Oh yeah,
really
and then
if it's-
another tiny negative. I gotta add this though. I've played all of the fucking Assassin's Creed games. Like I'm just an Assassin's Creed fan. You know, I just love the stories. You know, it's historical and it's all that shit. It's all good. There's one thing, especially I love in Assassin's Creed. It's when you're fighting a group and you're all alone.
Yeah,
You can have this, you know, when 2 guys want to fucking hit you at the same time, you can kind of like synchronize block that shit.
Yeah.
And just bitch slap both of them, left and right. Just instantaneously. But on Wisher, you ain't bitch slapping shit, bro. Now,
Yeah.
the reason for this is because they're all sporadic like fuck.
Yeah.
If there's like 4 or 5 guys you're fighting, they're all hitting in a random type of way.
Yeah,
You
they can
never
hit
know.
you at
If
the
one
same
is hitting you-
time or one on
Yeah, they
one.
can hit you at the so you block one, but you get punched by another one. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
they gang up on you, sometimes it's like everybody hits like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom. Like sometimes that just pisses me off, and then I go to Igni and I just fucking grill their asses because it just pisses me off.
That's what I'm saying, mate. Set them on fire. That's what you need to do. That's the cure-all thing for me. If there's a problem, I set it on fire. Whether it hurts them or not, it makes me feel good. Just set them on fire, you know? That's the way forward.
Pyromancy and shit in the game. Dude. It's like-
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. There's sort of challenge spikes that don't really add up. They don't make sense. You'll get a small group of monsters or beasties that you've fought before. You know, you're wandering around, you see a bunch of them, they might be guarding some loot or something like that, or part of the story, and you've taken on 5 or 6 of these guys before, and that's the wicked thing about the combat. When it goes your way, it's so fun. It's you can make it look like it's choreographed from some kind of movie or something. You know, you're hacking, slashing, you're tearing through them, and you know you do sort of finishing moves. He will just execute a finishing move.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you
I've
know,
seen a
he'll
couple of
start
those. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll start
It's really wicked.
lopping heads off or running them through with his sword and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah.
And you will make your way 200 yards down the road, and you'll see the same bunch of enemies, the same kind of guys you just fought.
Yeah.
And you
Same
walk up
level,
to them,
same everything.
and they were the same level, the same monsters, the same pretty much a similar location, and those guys will hand you your ass. They will absolutely beat you to within an inch of your life, where all you can do is run, just run, and just keep tapping
Just
X
run,
and
bro.
run as fast
But
as you
why
can.
is that? Is that
because
some kind
you
of
just got
punishment for?
Yeah, it
whooping their ass?
sometimes it really doesn't add up. I mean, you know, these I mean, overall the game, you know, the graphics, the storyline, the storytelling, the characters, the combat system, the environment, you know, everything is so well polished.
Yeah.
It all links together so well.
Yeah.
It's the only, I mean, I describe it immerses you, like you could almost sit back like you're watching a film.
Yeah.
It immerses you that deeply. I mean, some of the things I think me and Boris are picking up on, it sounds maybe that we're being a bit over the top, maybe a bit too critical, but it's a game that's difficult to find problems in. I mean, it's so well polished. These are the little things that for the massive accomplishment they've achieved through making this game. That if they polished off these few little things, you would have had
the game would be
an
perfect.
absolute masterpiece. I mean, it is a masterpiece. It's a brilliant game. It is an absolutely fantastic game. Even if you're not into that kind of thing, that the open world games or whatever, I'd still say give it a go because it could so easily draw you in. I mean, I'm sure Boris will back me up. All you got to do is take one look at Yennefer, and that will draw you in. That'll get you to play the game. It's
that's one banging bitch right there. She hot as fuck, though. She really hot, dude.
Yeah, I mean, well, see, this is it. Boris goes into it for the women. I go into it because you can sail a boat. You can sail a boat, and that to me means a lot. You can climb in a little boat, and off you go. It's like a really, really medieval GTA. You can off I go. I'm in my little sailboat, and there ain't anyone that can mess with me. I can bounce around, check the islands out. The weather's kind of in real time. It goes night, dark, and sunsets and all that. And sometimes, Boris is off chasing the women and innkeeps, whereas I'm in the middle of the ocean enjoying the sunrise. I mean, this is the different aspects this game can appeal to. It can do it all. It can do it all.